Hello, everybody. My name is Emily Chung, and I'm one of the conference co-chairs for JALT 2024. It is my greatest pleasure to be interviewing one of our esteemed plenary speakers for the conference. This is Dr. Avril Haye-Matsui. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for your time. And
So
also,
happy to be here.
it's amazing to, be able to speak to someone like you who has done so much in your career, in your life. Honestly, yeah. So it's such an honor. Yeah. And for our viewers out there who may or may not have heard about you, could you perhaps give us a brief overview of what is going on in your professional life at the moment, or any projects that you're doing?
Okay, goodness. Well, first of all, let me say thank you. I'm just honored to be part of the conference and to be one of the plenaries. And yeah, I'm really pleased that you are valuing my work, and it's amazing. Thank you. So who am I suppose? My name is Avril Haye-Matsui, and originally I come from England. And I've been living and working in Japan for many years. So I was in my 20s, and I'm currently working at Aichi Prefectural University and the Department of British and American Studies. But my main sort of research areas are gender, especially in ELT, English language teaching, um, diversity, cultural diversity, specifically intersectionality. And yeah, my classes are largely content based. So we'll look at, you know, thorny issues like about race and identity and ethnicity, and also gender, of course, and privilege, and disability. So, a lot of sort of issues that perhaps some students haven't had the opportunity to talk about before, especially the first years. I'm not saying all, but just some students. Um, and what I'm researching at the moment. So is that the other question? Yeah.
Yeah, any current projects that you're
Yes.
doing? Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Well, the ongoing project, of course, is my book. It's ongoing, right? Still sort of turning my research into a book. I've also just probably today, actually, I think the book is being submitted. Not my book on my research, but I've just finished a chapter and contributed to a book on contested meanings of race and migration in Asia. And that should be out, I'm presuming, within a couple of months.
Ooh.
Once I've actually started writing my book about, Black female English language professionals in Japan, I'm really interested in student identity, especially the changes that occur when a student goes abroad or when students from abroad come to Japan, and sort of looking at the entirety of their experience, not just as students perhaps, but as, as male, female, non-binary, students of color, what are their experiences in Japan or outside of Japan, and how these experiences change them. So I'm very interested in that area at the moment.
Wow, okay. It seems that most of the things you are doing are not just connected to research, but also the professional English language teaching community. And then it even goes to the students whom may or may not be in your classes. So with all of these like connected, like there's so many things that you can actually explore within those topics. The interest with student identity, is that something more recent?
No, actually, it started quite a long time ago. It's one of my first research projects. I looked at that sort of the gendered aspect of student identity, because I had noticed that many of the English language majors were female at this particular university I was working at the time. And so I looked at, where their motivation to study the language came from and why it was gendered. And I discovered that a lot of these young women had had female role models, either teachers or their mothers or aunts or sisters that have been interested in the language, and it had, you know, encouraged them or steered them also into that direction.
Awesome. Okay. I feel like this is such a significant topic, you know, especially like these days with so many up and coming young, you know, whether female students or researchers or teachers in training, there's so many of them out there. So I really hope that they get to hear what you are going to say. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
we definitely need more
Yeah, of
at
course.
university level.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just two of us here. There's gonna be more.
Yeah, bring it on. Yeah.
I'm going to circle back to the first book that you mentioned. Is this the whole book that you are going to that's going to be published?
Yes, but I am still, I have to say, I'm still in the proposal stages. Um, and as soon as I write it, my PhD supervisor has been like, "Yeah, let's just get this book written. Let's just get it done." So yeah, I'm excited about that, and also excited about learning about the process of turning a thesis into a book. I thought
Yeah.
it would be quite a simple, you know, just change a few words and there you go. But I'm finding out that it's quite different.
Oh
But it's
yeah, most people look for journals, not the whole book. Yeah.
exactly.
Hopefully we can get a copy of the book or maybe bring you back for another plenary session in the future.
Well, now I've said it here, I definitely have to write it. Yeah.
Yes, we're all looking forward to it. Okay, so this year's conference theme about opportunity, diversity, and excellence, basically about moving JALT into the future. So, of course, this topic is the theme itself is something that might be related to your research. So, what do you think of the theme this year?
I love the theme. I love the theme. I almost never thought it would happen. Not that I'm being critical, but I've been a member of JOT for a long time, and diversity particularly has not been something that has been focused on a lot. And also I love that wording of opportunity and excellence. I think so many people are threatened by the idea of diversity, and especially perhaps if they come from, you know, a majority group, then they're threatened. But actually realizing that the more diversity we have, it creates more opportunities for
Mhm.
all of us. And it also creates more opportunities for our students, who are not just sort of like a singular mass of studenthood. They are also very diverse in many, many different ways. So I think this is I mean, this is the time for it. It's needed, and it's an excellent theme. So thank you for
No, thank you. Only took us 50 conferences. But hey, like Rome was
that.
built in a day. Things do take time, and I'm really honored to be speaking to someone like you who is, still driving the vehicles and moving things forward, which is basically what the voice that we need in such a conference and also in Japan. So in this sense, because we feel that you as our plenary, your word is something that we want to like hold on to and carry it with us, even like after the conference. But could you give us a quick preview about what is the key message that you actually plan to convey to the audience at your plenary session?
I think the key thing is diversity is not just a buzzword. You know, you look at university web pages all over, and you know they've got this word, and it's not always there in practice.
Right.
And I know that as educators, we don't always have the power to make our institutions change, but we can change. Okay, we can include more aspects of diversity, whether it's talking about, neurodiversity in the class, or disability in the class, or if you're on an interview panel, sort of pushing for teachers that will bring different aspects, to your teaching community. I think we all have the power to, we have the power in our classes, right? We can be quite autonomous for the most part. I mean, it depends on your position. I
Right.
understand that you don't always, have that power, but, we do have, we can sort of steer things
Mhm.
within our power. So my message is, yeah, diversity is not, it's not a buzzword, and it's not even something that is flavor of the month. It is needed. And it's not just, needed for us. There's so many times when I've done things in classes and students have come up to me afterwards and said, wow, thank you. I've never had the opportunity to talk about my mixed heritage identity, for example. And I've always felt a little self-conscious, but we were able to talk about it, and it made me, made me feel good. I think there's creating that space and not being afraid to. Yeah, I think that's my message. It's not, diversity is not just something that is a buzzword, it's something that is actually needed for us, our students.
Right. And there's so many like kinds of attendees at the conference itself. So,
Yeah,
being able to reach out to whether they are researchers or practitioners. And we
yeah,
also have students who will be attending the conference. So hopefully that this is something that they can, take into not just their classrooms, but
yeah,
also beyond their classrooms. Yeah.
absolutely.
And also, like with this, of course, with the JALT conference itself, you are going to have a workshop, a more hands-on place. So what kind of like other key messages that do you have like for your workshop? Because the workshop in JALT conferences, I feel they are usually more personalized,
Mhm.
between like the plenary speaker. You're not in a massive hall like talking to hundreds of people, thousands of people, but you get
Right,
to focus on a smaller audience during the workshop. So
right.
what would be the thing that you would like to convey in your workshop?
Okay. I don't want to give it away, keep it
Okay,
serious as a
preview.
surprise, but
Everybody skip if you don't like spoilers.
spoiler alert. Well, I mean, as you said, it's a workshop, so it's more personalized. So, as I said in my abstract, we're kind of looking at what does diversity mean for you? So there's going to be a lot of, I'm hoping for a lot of engagement and a lot of, back and forth, people talking about their individual teaching situations or research situations, and how they can bring different aspects. And that's what I'm hoping, is that we can work together to get some ideas of that you can take back to your particular context. So there'll be a lot of engagement. What does diversity mean for you in your specific, teaching context, research context, work context, and how can we bring it in? What are the channels? So giving people the chance to talk about some of the challenges as well. I mean, we all, it's not an opportunity just to, have a good moan, although, sometimes that's needed, but, bringing up those challenges, and then other people and I hopefully will have some ideas of, ways that we can get around them. So it is going to be, yeah, more personalized, a lot of engagement. We're looking for concrete ideas, even if it's something really simple, like using images that show diversity when we're trying to illustrate specific points. A lot of teachers, and I count myself amongst this too, we don't always think about the images that we use, but yet we are actually showing images that can reinforce students' stereotypes. So we really need to think about what images are we using. So if I'm using a picture of, student people in a restaurant
Mm.
in the UK, what's the diversity of these people? You
Mm.
know, are they different ethnicities, different abilities? So it could be simple things like that. And then ideas perhaps about topics that people can teach.
Mhm.
And also perhaps even ideas about how to talk to your superiors about the lack of diversity within your workspace.
Ooh, that's a really like packed workshop that I'm personally looking forward to. It's amazing.
Well, let's hope people share things. It'll be a short workshop. Yeah.
Good things must be shared. There is one particular thing in your abstract that I also feel that is very important. It might have been your what do you call it? It might have been your plenary abstract as well, but it's not just about your professional development, but also your own personal development, like who you are in the space that you are in. Yeah. And I feel like if this is really like a part of who you are or a part of who you not are, I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to, learn more about this, about themselves, right? Attending like both your sessions.
Oh, I hope so. And I feel like seeing, isn't it though, isn't it like realizing when I first started teaching, I had no idea what I was doing, but I had this sort of teacher persona that I had to, you know, put on this sort of mask. And it just wasn't effective. But when I took off that mask and I, shared a little bit more of myself, I was just myself in the class. I found that students related to that so much more, and it kind of allowed them to open up more and to be themselves. I think it's important to realize that we don't have to be a teacher, we just have to be ourselves in the classroom, because who we are, as Farrell says, is how we teach.
Yeah. And also, I think it just, finding your authentic self is just so important because, there's only one of you, right? And, you can do so many other things, right? Yeah. So I honestly feel like from our conversation today, like there are a lot of things that people can take away from your sessions. So before the conference begins, which is going to be in basically 2 months. Whew, okay.
Gosh, right.
Pressure's on all of us. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So before the conference, because obviously you have not done your sessions yet, but how would you envision your presentations, both plenary and your workshop, be benefiting the conference attendees, people who are going to be there in Shizuoka, and also the broader academic community?
Well, I hope that people feel that they are being represented. When I was planning the plenary, I was thinking of the best plenaries that I've been to, the ones that I've enjoyed the most. And it's where there was some kind of representation, some sort of acknowledgement of all of the people there and their different paths. I mean, I'm really hoping that with the plenary and with the workshop, people will feel that they have not just ideas, but maybe motivation, perhaps to go in and change things a little bit, not necessarily storming the castle gates, but just, just going in and changing things where they can. And also knowing that, if they can't change things or they feel that they need help, that there is support out there. Because like you said, even with this conference theme, it took 50 conferences to get to this theme.
Mhm.
So it's not always going to be a quick process.
Mhm.
I really want people to know that there is value and it's very and importance in the idea of not just the idea, but diversity is something that we are. It's not something that we create, it's who we are, and it needs to be represented. So I'd hope that would be valuable for the community
Oh, that's
to
okay.
reinforce that. Mm.
Oh, I really think that's so important that it's not just something we create, you know, like it's a part of who we are, you know, and hopefully from your sessions, people can find out more maybe creative ways to embrace that diverse, you know, part of themselves, like whoever they are, wherever they're from. Yeah. And thank you so much for being such an inspiration, like to so many people with all your work, whether it's within your current professional life or within JALT or within, you know, other forms of support that I believe, you know, have, you know, been a huge part of your life. Yeah. So if,
Thank
you know,
you.
yeah, everybody who is watching this, please go meet Avril and say hello at the JALT
Hello.
conference. Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully at the JALT conference itself, like you know, we will have a lot of opportunities to speak to you, so charge your social batteries.
I will be sleeping constantly for 2 days before.
Always ready, Era. I love that. Okay, so this is the end of our interview session. So everyone who is watching, please catch Avril at her plenary session in JALT in Shizuoka from November 15 to 18. Yes, although her
Yeah.
plenary is just between the 15 to 18, not from 15 to 18.
Okay, thank you. It's a little bit worried.
Okay, thank you very much, Avril,
Um,
so much for your time. Yeah, we really appreciate it on behalf of the JALT committee and also the conference like committee itself. Like we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being a part of our 50th conference. Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you so much for today. I really have enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to the conference.
Same here. Okay, thank you. See
Okay,
you.
bye.